Hey everyone! Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Jane, and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love Young and the Restless, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. The Young and the Restless recap for Friday, July 4th reveals that Phyllis Summers is willing to betray Newman in order to complete Cane Ashby's Genoa City takeover plot. Newman is also planning a 3-hour mountain climb to see his family, so here's what YNR fans should expect. For openers, Cane will say that progress has been made on the rails, allowing his guests to leave as early as next week. Newman will go on a stroll with Cane and acknowledge that he is astounded by everything he has accomplished. Despite hitting a chord with some comments about conman Colin Atkinson, Victor will eventually suggest to Cane that they should be allies rather than adversaries. Of course, Victor will reiterate that Chancellor is off-limits and will reassure Newman and Nick afterward. While Nick, Victor, and Nikki are speaking on the train, Adam will arrive out of breath and unkempt. After bribing someone to inform him where Aristotle Dumas Castle is, Adam admits to climbing the mountain for 3 hours. Adam will provide updates on Arabesque's many property acquisitions across town, including the latest GCAC purchase. There will also be considerable discussion about Dumas purchasing the Chancellor divisions that Nikki sold when she judged them unnecessary. Adam will believe the partygoers have already met Dumas and will guess Colin, but he will not be surprised to learn it is Cane, as that was his second guess. Adam will ultimately discuss Chelsea Lawson running into Cane in Genoa City, making Nikki, Victor, and Nick understand there is a way off the property. Nikki will be ready to get home to Victoria and Claire Newman, but she will have no idea about Cole's death because there has been no cell service. Adam won't have that information either because he departed before Cole's untimely death. Victor will hint to a scheme. Despite the fact that they've been playing Cane's game, Victor suggests that they switch to Victor's game and see how Cane does. Amanda Sinclair will scold Phyllis again in the mazes eating area for being selfish and jeopardizing her career. Phyllis will apologize and hope they can move on from what occurred, especially after she overheard Amanda's talk with Carter about Cane's trip to GC. Amanda will act as if Phyllis misunderstood and will be upset about her eavesdropping. Phyllis, on the other hand, will be aware of what she has heard and will agree not to tell anyone that there is a way off the property, but she will expect answers in return. Amanda will claim that Phyllis is blackmailing her, but Phyllis will deny it and say she only wants to be a team player. When Cane appears, he will worry how far Phyllis will go to show it. Cane will ask Phyllis if she is willing to throw Billy and Jack Abbott under the bus. After Cane promises to make things more difficult, he wonders if Phyllis is willing to betray Nick. Cane will eventually explain that he doesn't want just one firm, but all of them. This is about taking on Abbott Communications, Jabot, Chancellor, and even Newman Enterprises. Cane would highlight his vast conglomerate aspirations and again press Phyllis on whether she would betray the people he listed if required. Phyllis will argue that Billy has repeatedly thrown her under the bus, therefore she will have no problem with it. As for Jack, Phyllis will believe he realizes that business is business. Cane will still want an explanation about Nick, so Phyllis will reveal she is willing to betray him and tell him that she is on board. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Phyllis will commit to her Cane alliance, so stay tuned for all of the turmoil that will ensue. The intricate web of betrayal, power struggles, and emotional manipulation in The Young and the Restless reaches a fever pitch when Phyllis Summers makes the calculated decision to betray Newman in order to align herself with Cane Ashby, all in the name of securing complete dominance over Genoa City. This startling change of events is more than just a simple act of betrayal, it is a perfectly planned maneuver that demonstrates Phyllis's unwavering ambition and willingness to sacrifice personal ties for power. For years, Phyllis has been a consummate manipulator, slipping in and out of relationships, playing both sides when it suits her, and leaving a path of broken trust behind her. However, her choice to turn against Nick, a guy with whom she has deep emotional and romantic ties, is one of her most vicious maneuvers to date, exposing just how far she is ready to go to maintain her position at the top of Genoa City's ruthless hierarchy. Nick, the charming but often overly trusting Newman heir, had put his faith in Phyllis, hoping that their shared history and mutual respect would protect him from her darker tendencies. But Phyllis, ever the strategist, sees an opportunity in Cane's goals, realizing that his yearning for power is exactly like her own. Cane, a man who has battled his own fights for legitimacy and influence within the Ashby and Chancellor families, is the ideal partner in this high-stakes game, providing Phyllis with not only an ally but also a co-conspirator who understands the ruthlessness of Genoa City's elite. They create a formidable pair, their combined cunning and resourcefulness rendering them practically invincible as they plot their domination. The treachery itself is carried out with frightening precision. Phyllis, ever the actor, maintains a mask of allegiance to Nick, offering him just enough truth to keep him on edge while secretly working behind the scenes to destroy him. She uses his flaws, his tendency to see the best in people, his occasional naivety in business dealings, and his residual emotional relationship to her, to lead him into situations of vulnerability. Meanwhile, Cane lurks in the shadows, using his own connections and influence to undermine Nick's position inside Newman Enterprises and the larger Genoa City power structure. The two of them work like a well-oiled machine, with Phyllis providing the seductive distraction and Cane making the merciless steps required to undermine Nick's enterprise piece by piece. The emotional toll on Nick is terrible, as he deals not only with the professional consequences, but also with the psychological sting of being duped by someone he once loved and trusted. The betrayal hurts deep, leading him to doubt not only Phyllis's motivations, but also his own judgment, making him vulnerable in ways he never expected. For Phyllis, this shift is about more than power, it's about affirmation. Despite her numerous accomplishments, she has always been an outcast in Genoa City, never fully embraced by the old money elite, who regard her as a schemer, a nuisance, and someone who does not belong in their world. She's not just gaining influence by engineering Nick's demise and securing Cane's domination, she's also rewriting her own story, demonstrating her ability to outmaneuver even the most powerful players in town. It's a statement to anybody who has ever questioned her, a vow that she is more than just a survivor, but a conqueror. Cane, for his part, is overjoyed to have Phyllis as his partner in this quest. He appreciates her genius, ability to anticipate multiple moves, and readiness to go to any length to win. Their relationship is mutually beneficial. Cane obtains a strategist to help him smash his rivals, and Phyllis gains a guardian and collaborator to help her cement her legacy. Of course, no conspiracy in Genoa City goes undetected, and it isn't long until rumors about Phyllis and Cane's scheming spread. Victor Newman, ever the cautious patriarch, knows something is wrong, but even he underestimates the extent of Phyllis's betrayal. Other participants, such as Jack Abbott and Billy Boy Abbott, start piecing together the evidence, only to discover too late that they may have overestimated the threat Phyllis and Cane pose. The tension rises as Nick, having discovered the truth, is obliged to confront Phyllis directly, resulting in dramatic encounters that expose the full scope of her dishonesty. The consequences are enormous, shifting alliances throughout the city as everyone scrambles to acclimate to the new power dynamic. Friendships are fractured, loyalties are tested, and long-buried truths are brought to light as the effects of Phyllis's actions spread throughout Genoa City. Even as Phyllis meets her short-term goals, the question remains, at what cost? Betraying Nick may have guaranteed her position with Cane, but it has also solidified her reputation as someone who cannot be trusted, making future relationships more difficult to form. The people of Genoa City have long memories, and no matter whether they fear or revere her, they will never forget what she did. Cane, too, must deal with the reality of aligning himself with someone as unpredictable as Phyllis. While their relationship is solid today, he understands her devotion is always conditional, and she may turn on him one day if it serves her purposes. The characteristics that make her such a good ally also make her a dangerous one, and Cane is no fool. He recognizes that their partnership is precarious. The betrayal is a watershed moment in Nick's life. Once burned, he becomes more guarded, calculating, and unwilling to give individuals the benefit of the doubt. The experience hardens him, forcing him to deploy some of the same tactics Phyllis employed against him if he is to restore his position and safeguard what remains of his empire. Nick, who was formerly affable and easygoing, has been replaced by a colder, more strategic version of himself, one who realizes that trust is a commodity that few can afford in Genoa City. His connection with Phyllis has been irreversibly shattered, and the bond they once shared is now just another casualty in the never-ending battle for control of the city. In the end, Phyllis's betrayal of Nick for Cane's absolute GC dominance is more than simply a power play. It's a watershed moment that reshapes Genoa City. It reveals the harsh realities of life among the privileged, when love and devotion are frequently sacrificed for ambition and survival. Phyllis may have won this battle, but the war is far from finished, and in a town where fortunes may shift in an instant, her success may be transitory. As the dust settles, one thing becomes clear: no one is safe in Genoa City, and no betrayal can ever be forgotten. The players and alliances may change, but the game stays the same, a never-ending, unrelenting war for control in which only the most vicious will prevail. And one thing is certain: as long as Phyllis Summers is involved, the drama will continue.